Hi, today we're going to do our first experiment for General Chemistry 2, preparation of solutions. The first part number 1, is preparation of barium carbonate. It says to obtain a 10 milliliter graduated cylinder, a 50 milliliter graduated cylinder, 125 Erlenmeyer flask, a Pasteur pipette with a bulb, evaporating dish, filter paper, and a stirring rod. First step number 2, is using a graduated cylinder. We are going to obtain 10 milliliters of barium chloride. It's important that you record the concentration. 10 milliliters of barium chloride. And we are going to pour it into the 50 milliliter beaker. Exactly 10 milliliters of 1 molar barium chloride. We are going to pour it into the 50 milliliter beaker. You might want to record your observations. Next, using a 50 milliliter graduated cylinder, we are going to obtain 25 milliliters of 0.5 potassium carbonate. We are going to obtain 25 milliliters of potassium carbonate. Here is your 25 milliliters potassium carbonate. I realized that I used a 25 rather than a 50 graduated cylinder. It doesn't make a difference. This is using a 25. Your instruction says to use a 50. I mean a 50 Erlenmeyer graduated cylinder, but it's okay. Next, I'm going to pour this 25 milliliters of potassium carbonate into the 50. And we're gonna stir it using stir rod. So I want you to see what's gonna happen. Put some stirring in. As you can see, there's precipitation. What we're going to do is we're going to obtain a evaporating dish, and we're going to take the weight. The weight is 48.7, 48. 48.715 grams. 48.715 grams. Now we're going to weigh the filter paper separately and then together. So we're gonna take a filter paper by itself and we're gonna weigh filter paper. Filter paper is 0.529 grams. Now I'm going to do the filter paper plus the evaporating dish. And that will be 49 grams, 49.237 grams. Step number 6 for part 1 is to assemble a filtration system, which has been done for you. What we're there gonna do is step 7. I'm going to put the filter paper here. I'm going to wet it with the paper, and we're going to filter our solution. So we're gonna put our mixture, and we're gonna vacuum it. Then what we're going to do is we're going to clean our beaker with 10 milliliters portions of water. Show you how it looks. We just dried it. We are now going to put it in our evaporating dish, and we are going to weigh it. Sorry, we're gonna dry it and then weigh it. We are going to dry it at medium heat, and then we are going to weigh it. We are going to come back with the results for part 1. We're going to continue with part 2, which is preparing a 1.5% biomass solution of sodium chloride. For this part, you're gonna have to calculate how much sodium chloride we need and how much water. So I'm just gonna give you the numbers that I use, but you need to figure out the theoretical amount that we need to use. So I'm going to measure your sodium chloride, and I'm gonna give you that amount that I use, and I'm gonna measure the water, and we're gonna take our observations. You might wanna record the observation, the color of the sodium chloride. I'm going to be measuring the amount that I use is 0.781 grams of sodium chloride, 0.781 grams of sodium chloride. Now I'm gonna pour this sodium chloride into 125 milliliter beakers, and I'm gonna measure 49.25 grams of water. Hopefully I can get that amount. The amount of water that I measured was 49.285 grams of water. Now what I'm going to do is take my water, mix it with my salt, stir it. As you can see, the sodium chloride has been dissolved. We want to record the color, pretty color. And that is the end for part 2. Okay, we're gonna continue with part 3. In part 4, our next step is to prepare 0.150 molar of sucrose. So we're gonna prepare it in a 50 milliliters volumetric flask. It is important that you know your calculations so you can know exactly how much sugar we should use. I will tell you the number that I will be using, and then you can do your calculations. Notice you wanna record the appearance of the sucrose. So what we're going to do is we're going to record our data to see how much sucrose we use. And for our sucrose, we use 2.567 grams of sucrose. Now using a funnel, I'm going to pour the sucrose into our 50 milliliters volumetric flask. Going to rinse our weighing dish to make sure all our sucrose goes in there. pretty color. As you can see, all our sucrose went inside our 50 milliliter volumetric flask. I am now going to bring it to that line, which indicates that we have 50 milliliters of solution. I'm going to shake it, just make sure it makes it easier to dissolve. I'm not done yet. I'm just gonna swirl it around to kind of help with the dissolving the sucrose. Keep adding water to our mark. We have exactly 50 milliliters of solution, which pretty much completes part 3. You want to make sure you record your observations. This is completely dissolved. Notice the color of your solution. We are now going to move to part 4. We are going to have a beaker just for waste. And we are going to obtain a 5 milliliter volumetric, 5.00 milliliter volumetric pipette. What we are going to do now is we're going to condition the pipette. The way I'm going to do it is I'm going to obtain some of our solution, and I'm going to kind of swirl it to just make sure the concentration inside the pipette is the same as the solution. Now your pipette has been conditioned. So in other words, we're conditioning that pipette. Next, I'm going to do a dilution. This is where you're gonna use M1 V1 equals M2 V2. M1 will be the concentration of your stock solution. V1 will be your 5 milliliters. V2 will be your 25 milliliters, and you're going to have to solve for M2. What I'm going to do is I'm going to obtain 5 milliliters of my stock solution. Five milliliters of my stock solution. And what we're going to do is pour it into a 25 milliliter volumetric flask. And I'm going to dilute it to the 25 milliliter mark with DI water. I'm going to put the penny head so I can mix my solution. And now you have your diluted solution, which you will be calculating the concentration. You want to look at the color. That pretty much completes part 4. The only step we have left is for part 1. Our barium, our product is now completely dry, and we are going to weigh it. The weigh is going to be your sample, the paper, and your evaporating dish. your mass is going to be. I'm going to reweigh it because it seems like the mass was not accurate. There you go, now it makes sense. The mass of the filter paper, the evaporating dish, in your sample is now 51.052 grams. From here, you can do the proper calculations to determine how much sample you have left and to complete your report. We are going to show you a close-up of your data that you are going to need. And that's it for this experiment.